Hello everyone. Welcome. I want to color a page out of 50 festive themed miniatures. So I'm actually going to color the cover page, but mine's going to look different. But here we are. I am going to use a marker base, but I'm not going to use any one brand of marker. I'm going to kind of mix some Sharpies and Teo trees and different kinds of markers. And then I'm going to do a pencil over the top. I may not color the whole page, but we'll see how far we get. This is not really like a color along, but just more of a little color and chat. I haven't put up a video in a while, so first thing I'm going to start with this green Sharpie. Again, Sharpie doesn't put names on their markers, so not that helpful, but just a nice light green. When I am putting pencil over the top of my marker on pages, I always pick the lightest shade of green that I want to be in there. I'm not going to put dark blue and then try to color over it, or dark forest green and then try to color over it with pencils. So I'm just going to put a nice light shade. I'm almost due for some new Sharpies as well. To pull a new green one. I'm also not worrying too much about streaks. I am using alcohol markers, which goes through the paper, so I do have a blotter sheet down. I'm also not worrying about too much about streaking because I am going to go over with pencils. The reason I decided to do marker base is because sometimes Camilla's paper don't cooperate with me so well when it comes to pencils and getting the depth I want on her images. So decided to go the easy way. Okay, I'm also going to do these little swirls. And they are blue on the cover, so if you're going for an icy feel, but I am going to add snow to mine, so I'll go ahead and do it this way. Now again, I am going to come back and shade with pencils. So I'm going to color the whole thing green, and then I will come back and kind of add highlights and depth between these two as I go. I do like this is festive themed so that I can kind of do some winter images out of it, but not necessarily Christmas. It's not even actually winter yet here, which surprises me a little bit, because usually in Wyoming by Halloween we have some snow, and we got like a little dusting, but it melted pretty quick. We haven't got another one, so I'm a little nervous. It'll be interesting to see if it's just a mild winter for once in Wyoming, or if we're just going to have a late winter and we'll be buried in snow till May. That's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen. I have an extra line somewhere. Okay, coming out right there. I thought I messed something up already, right off the bat. So let me finish these on both sides so you don't have to watch the whole thing, and I'll be back. Okay, so for these leaves over here, I'm going to go one shade darker. So this is a Bic marker. This is Key Lime. I don't know if it really matters, but sometimes I get questions. I feel like I'm the only person who doesn't own Ohuhu and things, so. Again, not going to worry too much about the streakiness, but I am going to pull a different Key Lime. I know I have another one. Just because life is short. I don't want you'd have to watch me fight that. If it were just me coloring not on camera, I would take my time and use it all up, but so the things I am not going to base in marker, and this is personal preference, is the lights the ornaments, my penguin, the snow. Everything else will be marker. And I am going to do the glitter snow. I'm going to turn this just a little. So everyone is doing well. It's a good time to, I guess, kind of ask everybody, because it's winding down to the end of the year, what you would like to see for Christmas season. I have a couple videos planned out for some ornaments and things, but I've already done glitter snow, which is what I'm going to do on this page. Any certain things you would like to see, or even going into next year. I haven't really made any plans. I have a big surgery coming up, but unfortunately, until I go down and have my pre-op, I don't know when that big surgery will be to kind of plan around it. So, okay, this is a Teo tree. I have heard of people talking about yellowing with Sharpies and sometimes Teo trees. I usually leave my blotter sheet in, so I'm not going to worry about it too much, but you may want to leave a piece of plastic or extra paper or what have you behind if you do marker. I have had some yellowing in my books looking back, but I didn't keep very good track of what markers I used when I first started, and I did a lot of just straight pencil in between, so I don't remember for sure. But okay, so I'll touch that up with some pencils. Same with these over here. I'm going to add a little snow to everything when I get to the end. Trying to decide if I want to do these leaves darker than the vines, and I think I do. Now I don't remember which key lime I just put down. I'm going to do all these dark green as well. Almost looks like a little Christmas tree peeking out. Like that. So I'm going to pause you and fill those in, and then we'll be back for the fun stuff. Okay, so I'm going to go in with a little bit of shading on my green items now. I'm going to do a whole lot of time because I also want to show the penguin and stuff, but just quickly show how I do a little bit of this. I'm going to start off with a grass green on these leaves here. Now these ones are darker and I want to keep them darker. I don't know if they're really darker in real life, but this is how I'm doing it. I also apologize that I'm out of breath. I had a major cardiac event on Halloween, and I'm recovered and doing well, but even small things such as getting up and getting my pencil case out leave me a little short of breath, and it takes me a minute to kind of get caught back up. Apologize. I will try not to breathe too hard. It is getting better, but it is taking its sweet time as well. Alright. Also part of my reason for lack of videos. I just have been kind of tired, catching up on some sleep, getting some extra sleep even because I've been doing a lot of sleeping. Okay, apple green's going to be my next. Now it's up to you if you want to leave the marker show through. I know everyone, when they do pencil over, we're going to sharpen that a duck. Sounds a weird feel. Okay, that's better. Has a little different style, but in this case, sometimes when I do marker over pencil, I will leave the marker showing through for like highlight. If I'm just touching up, just kind of enhancing it, adding some shadows and some depth. In this case, I did marker as a base, so I wouldn't have to use so much pencil to cover the paper. So I do it a little bit different. I do cover the whole object, or I will be on these leaves anyway. But again, if you are just doing a quick little touch up, add some depth, you know, you don't have to do that. And then we're gonna kind of blend everything out, and this is spring green. So I used grass green, apple green, and spring green. And I'm actually not gonna go all the way out to the edge, because I think I wanna bring in the grass green on these edges a little bit. Add a little darker to those, and I might even bring in a touch of dark green when it's all said and done, and do the veins in these leaves. I am a little heavy-handed, so I am pressing a little hard. That's not necessary, that's just me, especially the shorter my pencils are. Goodness. Alright, so I'm gonna come in around this berry here a little bit, and then my vein. And I'm not pressing hard on this one, I am doing a light touch. Kind of looks like I'm pressing hard because of how I'm holding it, but this one I'm just putting a light touch over. And then I just kind of play with it till I'm happy with it. See the difference in my leaves. Kind of neat, kind of fun to watch. Okay, so I'm gonna do that same thing. I'm just kind of darkening that up a little to start with. Save myself a step now that I know I want it on the edges. So let's see, 12. I'm doing pretty good. Kind of putting a light coat down first, and kind of coming back and blending stuff out a little bit more. I'm actually going to put a little more of this in first. There's like a weird spot on this paper. Like it even feels weird to color over, and I don't know if it's this pencil. It's a regular Prismacolor. I thought maybe it was a Scholar. It just has like a real slick, waxy feel in a couple spots. That's right. Again, this is a light touch, so the lighter you go, the smoother it will kind of go with your other colors and blend itself in. I'm going to add a little more to my edges here. And then I'm going to put some right here just because I'm here to separate my leaves. This is spring green. And I did do a full layer of apple green, just so my leaves would look a little different. Blending out some of my harsh lines that I didn't see the first time, apparently. Skipping things. Okay. Next, let's do some red. Let me grab my reds. Sorry about the wiggle. Okay, I'm gonna do the berries over here. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take pomegranate and I'm gonna kind of build in my shadows. I want those to be nice and dark. I'm going to go for some contrast here. I'm going to make this side of this very dark and this side of this very dark, so I'm doing a kind of C shape. And then the middles of them. And then I'm going to come in with Scarlet Lake. Everywhere I put that pomegranate, I'm going to put a little Scarlet Lake. I'm not going to worry about blending them together just yet. Okay, and then I'm going to take Poppy Red, a little more center here. I'm going to go over the whole thing. Now when I come in with my snow, I will put a little snow on the highest points of all those berries. So I will do that same thing on my flower over here. So I will put in my pomegranate. Now if you want a more pinky color so they look a little different, you can put in carmine or whatever. You can use Tuscan red if you want a more darkish red. I'm just going to show you a couple of these. So the little in-betweens, I'm going to go ahead and put a little darker on. These are going to look darker than these just because I'm adding more pomegranate. Okay, Scarlet. Sneeze. Bless me. Sorry, I wasn't gonna have time to pause the video. All right. And then we got that nice marker base down. It's nice and smooth, no white showing. Really saves the hand and things like this. And then you can always go back and kind of wrong color, touch up wherever you feel like you want to add a little extra or blend out any harsh lines. So I did this one a little dark at the bottom, which I like, but I'm just going to make sure there's no harsh lines anywhere. And then if you want a little more contrast, you can bring in that white on your bigger spaces and add just a touch. It'll turn that poppy red just a little orange, make certain spots a little brighter. So my whole flower will look like that when we're done. Let's play with our little penguin guy. So for him, I'm going to pull a black and a white and indigo blue. Trying to remember all the colors. I did not base him with marker because I do want to give him some highlights, and that's a little harder to create with a black marker. You can do it. But I want a nice slick highlight here. Give me 1 second to find the black I just had. Okay, in an effort to save my Prismacolor Premieres, I'm going to use a Scholar. This is an older Scholar, so this is when they just came with the Spanish names, and they are a little thicker. I think this one's a Scholar too. Yes. So not a whole lot of difference, but I am going to use this as a base, so I don't use my good black all up. And all I'm going to do is, trying to do this without turning him too much. So I'm going to work around his little face here. Now I am going to go a light layer. I am going to go for a jet black penguin. The cover does blue. So if you want a blue, pink, purple penguin, what have you. But I seen the cutest little penguin bulb in a coloring book, and I have been itching to do a penguin and give him some rosy red cheeks. So I think that's what I'm gonna do with this little guy. I apologize if my dryer is loud. Decided while I'm up anyway, I might as well get some laundry washed. Okay, so I'm gonna leave his face alone. I'm gonna leave his little feet alone. Now at first it's gonna look like his arm is kind of blending in with his body, but as I get my shading in and my other colors, we will get that fixed up. Thankfully this little guy is not too huge and not too big of sections, so he doesn't have a whole lot of black on him. Pretty sure his belly, yep, his belly's supposed to be white. I can never remember. Penguins and foxes, I always mix up their whites. I always do foxes' faces. Funny. Okay, so I am going to go ahead and put my dark in right there, just so that's marked. Indigo blue. So black is never just black. I always add a little indigo blue, especially where I'm going to be adding some highlights and things. So that is up to you how you want to do your black, but I'm just going to put a little in close to where I might have some highlights, and that will just give a little bit of our highlight a little bluish tinge and bring some comfort. And hopefully as I get him finished up here, you'll kind of be able to see that come to life. Okay, I'm going to take my white. This is a Scholar as well, but honestly it feels just like a regular white, so I use it exactly the same. I'm going to clean my tip. Even though it's black, I don't want to accidentally smear any red or yellow. Now, if this is not done, I'm going to come back with my black one more time. So, I'm trying to decide how I want to do that. I'm going to turn this just a little. I'm going to create a little highlight right here, right in the middle of his head. Now this highlight will not stay this big. As I come back with my black, I will kind of shape it. I just kind of want to build it in. And then I'm going to do the top of his little flipper here. Again, there's that nice blue. And then this little spot right here. So I'm going to bring that down a little, because again, I will touch it up with my black. And that arm is pretty much done. So I'm going to come back with my black now. Try to stay in the lines, maybe, would be great. And now our penguin has a nice little blue tint of highlight to him. So I'm going to hold that a little closer just in case you can't see it, because I'm not really zooming in or anything. It wasn't really supposed to be a how-to video. But that's the style I'm used to recording in, so I have a little trouble not doing that. Again, bringing my black up a little more now. Kind of have an idea what I want. And this is where I just swap pencils back and forth and play with it. So I'm going to bring that black in one more time and just make sure that the lines are defined. And then I'm going to start over here. Make sure it stays nice and dark around his face. Come up against his hat, because I want his hat to be nice and dark. We would shadow there if he were any other color penguin as well. And again, it's kind of a lot of switching back pencils and just kind of shaping that highlight to what you think you want it to look like. I'm going to turn it just a little here. I'm going light layer just to kind of blend my dark in with that white. So I'm not trying to hide the highlight I just created, just dimming it down just a little. Same with the little hairs here. Don't want it to look like he's a graying penguin necessarily. Okay, make sure we got all the white. The hardest part about black is all the little white spots. Okay, I think he has a nice highlight. It's hard to always, I can see it, but it's always hard to tell like how well it shows up on camera. Especially because I'm kind of working on the dark on my end. Okay. Now we're going to do his little tush here. And then we're going to work on this arm. Blending in that black. All right. My light is kind of making a glare. So I'm trying to stay where you can see, but where I can see also. Again, light pressure, just blend everything in. That little fin there. I'm going to leave, I think that will highlight pretty white right there, but the rest of it I'm going to blend in. Alright, so there is our little penguin guy for now. Let me pull a couple more colors. Okay, so I filled in his house real quick just so you could kind of see a little more of it done because my video is getting a little long here. I'm going to do a couple Christmas lights and then I'm going to leave it up to you guys whether we should come back and do the bulbs and the snow together or if I should finish it on my own. I'm going to go to bed after this, so I will leave it up tonight and tomorrow and kind of see how you guys are feeling after that. But for lights, quickly, all I do is I'm going to go around the edge with a darker color, not super dark. I'm not going anything super dark. And I'm going light because I want it to blend. And I'm keeping that kind of light bulb shape. I'm going to take a lighter color and fill in the middle. Your choice. I've seen it done both ways. If you want to take a yellow or if you want to take a white, I'm going to do white. And mine is kind of light anyway. I'm going to put a little more of that dark back in. But I'm just going to make an extra white line so it looks like a little bit of light in there. And then on the outside, if we are going for a glowing effect, you can add a little yellow around it, which won't really show up with all these decorations going on around it. But so then I'm going to do the same thing with red. And I might actually come back and do the little inside part with gel pen, so I'm going to skip that part for now. Actually, no, we'll just go green because I already touched it. I was going to do yellow, but... green. And then for yellow, I do a touch of orange. This is actually sunburst yellow. Whatever color you like, I just feel like this one gives it a nice look. And then again, we can kind of create a little circle around it so they look like they're glowing. Alright, so there are my cute little Christmas lights. So there is my page so far. Again, we are working in 50 festive themed miniatures by Camellia Angelkova. Questions, comments, requests like that, anything, please let me know. If you would like to see part 2 with the snow and the bulbs, let me know that, and the little penguin face that I'm gonna do some rosy cheeks on. Let me know that as well. Helps me create content and know what you guys like to see. And I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.